Suave.
I've been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mentor. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different road, changed relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hardly. Now
What's up, guys? And we are back with another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast. As always, I'm your host, Andrew Robinson. But as you can see, guys, we are in person, in studio, right here in Beverly Hills. And I am joined by a special guest, none other than literally my brother, man. If I could have a triplet, this would be who it would be, man. Dang near came out the womb together back in Springbrook when you stumbled upon my block. You know what I mean? But we are pleased to be joined by my brother, Isaiah Eisendorf. He's going to be a co-host on this podcast as well. So my boy's first podcast, man. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Good to be here. Good to be here. My brother from another mother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice to be here.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty of this conversation, I want to kind of hit on a little bit of a trending topic right now. Obviously, by the time this airs, it'll be a little bit dated. But, last night, obviously, we witnessed Clay and Steph had their reunion, and
Good
made me
game,
think,
too.
obviously, we shared the court. It was 10 years ago, a long time. Some would refer us as Splash Brothers. I think some would refer to us as that. Obviously, you would be the lesser of the two.
That's crazy.
Probably me being Steph, you being Clay, maybe. But
I'll take it. I'll be Clay.
there were a lot of emotions on the court last night, a lot of tears, and made me think, if me and you ever, were to share the court together, would you be teary-eyed? Would you have some emotions, being able to finally share the court again after a 10-year hiatus?
Hiatus is kind of crazy because, it's been since, 2014 Comcast Center.
Yeah.
We took our last L together, and that one hurts.
Hurt bad.
I don't think it would be, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't think it would be because we play together still, like, pick up all the time. So I think it's a little bit different than something like, Steph and Clay where, I think they went their separate ways, and it's kind of been that. So I think it would be a big moment. I think it would be exciting. I think it would be all types of, it would be probably some type of emotions. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think it wouldn't be sad emotions, though. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. What about you? You have some tears flowing?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm an emotional person. I'm a very emotional person.
It's true.
You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put it past me, But at the same time, I feel like we need to make that happen. You know what I mean? We've been talking about this, us getting on the same team overseas, maybe.
We have,
you know what I
man.
mean?
This summer more than ever, too. We've really
know.
been trying to make this happen.
I know.
We've been plotting.
We need to go some Miami Heat, D-Wade, Braun type time. You know what I mean?
Package deal.
Facts. Now, before we get into the rest of the episode, man, obviously we got some vino here, man, and I wanna pour this up because, as you guys know, me and you are both wine connoisseurs. Love the
Absolutely.
wine. So I want to pour this up and cheers to our first episode, man, and first of many. I'm gonna let you pour your own glass, but first of many, for the new edition of What's in Your Bag, in-person episodes, and I just want to cheers to new beginnings, 12 years of brotherhood, with me and you.
12 years is crazy.
It's been about 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Since you came to Springbrook, maybe
Sophomore
13.
year.
Yeah, sophomore year, so 12 or 13 years of brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's been amazing to see the growth of our friendship from when we first met in 2011, 2012 to us being grown men now, man. And I just want you to know, I'm honored to have you sit here beside me on this podcast and have this conversation. I'm proud of you, brother. So, cheers to this episode and much more to come.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be here. You're right. We've came a long way. We came a long way from 12 years ago on Lockwood Avenue. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, sir. Cheers,
Cheers.
brother. Cheers.
Salute.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, man, can you tell the people, man, how'd you come to meet me and Ace? You know what I mean? I feel like it's kind of a shell shock when new people meet me and Ace for the first time because obviously us being identical twins, for y'all who didn't know that, I'm an identical twin. And you came to Springbrook sophomore year. So just tell the people about how we met, how you first got introduced to me and Broski back in the day.
Yeah. So I definitely like we said, sophomore year. I met you guys separately. Like you weren't, at the hip like I think most of us non-twins expect twins to be. So honestly, it would help. I think the rest of us if you guys had a sign on your, shirt or forehead that said, twin one, twin two, because how we met, I think I met you first. We had a class together. We had health class together. It was like my first week at Springbrook. And I remember it was a small class, and you had your basketball shoes like on your bag. And I think I hadn't really met a lot of the basketball team yet, except for Coach D.
Shout out Coach D.
Shout out Coach
Shout
D.
out Coach
Shout
D.
out Coach D. But I think we kind of just got to talking and relating to the basketball and how the season was going to go on the team and all that for a little bit during that class. And then later that same day, again, might have been my first day there, honestly. Later that day, we were getting off the bus and getting off the stop by my house. I saw what I thought to be you getting off the bus right after me, except you had a different haircut. You had a high top fade when I think in class you had like a kind of even low cut all the way around.
Yeah.
And then we got off the bus later that day. I said, "What happened? You got a cut during school? Like, what's up?" And he was kind of looking at me crazy. He, who I thought was you, and then come to find out that was, our other brother, Aaron. So, that was crazy. And he kind of played it off too, like he just went with what I was saying and he wasn't really trying to correct me or anything, which I realize now is what you guys do all the time. So, that's how we met on day one, and then I think we kind of we got to flowing a little bit even before the season because I was playing football before basketball season started. So I'm not even really sure when it really clicked like that. What are your thoughts? What was your angle on how we met though?
Yeah. So I remember we had class together, but from the outside looking in, so Springbrook, for people who are probably watching this, you guys are probably familiar, but for those who don't know, our school before I got there my freshman year, we won 4 straight state championships. No, 3 straight, 3 straight state titles. So we're a big basketball school. My freshman year, we lost. I was blessed enough to play varsity my freshman year. We lost in the regional final to go back to Comcast to go to a state championship. So that was brutal because obviously we had expectations of 4P and et cetera. I thought I was a freshman. I'm getting my my first ring as a freshman. I was like, I'm popping. I'm in school. Okay, big man on campus. We lose, and Coach D, he always is threatening to, hey man, hey, I got a 6'5" transfer, DeMatha, Gonzaga. He always was threatening to take somebody's spot. You feel me? So I just remember from my perspective, he was like trying to motivate us in preseason in the summer league. Like, yo, I got a new player coming in
Every offseason.
He coming in for all y'all spots. He taking all y'all minutes. So I'm thinking like, all right, like I'm big man on campus. Ain't nobody taking my spot. You know what I mean? Like, so when I see you, you know how it is. Like as a guy, you see somebody new coming, you size him up. You like, all right, like, is he nice? Can he hoop? Like, all right, let me see what this swag talk about.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? He looks kind of athletic. He got
even off the court. See what that walk talking about.
Facts. He with the gym. I'm like, all right, he might be an athlete. And so I remember at first it was kind of like, you ain't about to take my shine. No way. That's what my mind was thinking. But then it was like I found out we was like neighbors. You know what I mean? And obviously, I don't really same thing. I don't remember when we initially like clicked, but I remember your mom playing a big role in just us coming together because we would obviously as we got older, she became like the team mom for us. You know what I mean? Like coming over to your crib for dinner before our games. I remember going to football games even and like watching you play and like she's on the PTA. So like she's at the games, like at the little booth. Just like always was around, you know what I mean? So from there we kind of got super cool. And also, I feel like us, shout out to our friend group as well, man. Lauren, Hannah, Nenny, Becky, Julo, man. We all kind of hung out together. And I feel like that's when we all started to click as far as like all of us. And I think that just made our relationship even more because, it was kind of like you had the athletes and then obviously Hannah was like a cheerleader at the time. I think Lauren cheered too. So we was kind of like all just doing our own thing. I think we all kind of became a family, in that. But that was my first recollection of you at Springbrook. Just making sure that you wasn't about to come in there and take my spot. You know what I mean? But what would you say are kind of some of your fondest memories from them Springbrook days?
That's a good question. Ooh. Some of my so the ones that really jump out the most, are kind of before basketball games. I think we would, school would finish at like 2:10, and games would be at, I think the girls' games usually start at like 5:30, and our games would start at 7:00. I remember it was it was either or. It was either that we would kind of all be at my house. Like you said, my mom was kind of the team mom. That started with football season, but, ever since I was in, as long as I can remember, mom of the year, because she was the team mom, kind of brought everybody in, would make everybody food, and we would go to my house, kick it for a couple of hours before the game, maybe take a nap, kick it, playing the game, whatever the case may be. Either that or we would be at school. And we would be like hanging out outside the gym, doing some homework and being studious, or
Always.
Other positive things.
Always.
And we like wait before the games would start. That's just that's two of the things that jump out to me the most. To be honest, I have like a block. I got a mental block on a lot of Springbrook days and a lot of high school days. It feels like a long. I mean, dang, 10 years ago it's a hefty amount of time, but it feels like a lifetime ago.
Facts.
If I'm being really real with you.
Facts.
What about you? What was your fondest memories from those days?
I gotta tell the story because this wasn't really a fond memory, but it just sums up my personality at Springbrook. Because I feel like those who know me now, you guys know I very much give main character energy, very much always want to be the center of attention. And as you remember, Springbrook, I don't know if everybody high school was like this, but like we had two bells. So the first bell was the one that let you know you had like, I think, a minute to get to class. And then the second one was the late bell.
Mm-hmm.
So I just remember I'm going to class. I think I had to go from the first floor all the way up to the third floor of the class. And I remember I'm like on maybe like the first or second floor trying to make it on time, and that first bell rang. So I'm like, dang, I got like 30 seconds, maybe a minute to get to class. So I'm like, all right, like I'm about to make a grand entrance. In this classroom. So I remember I'm like trying to time it in my head, like, all right, when I'm about to make it. So I never forget, bro. Like I'm going down the hallway, and as I'm like about to get to the classroom's on my right. The late bell like goes off. Like, so I'm like, I'm about to make a grand entrance. So I'm thinking I'm gonna like run and like, hey guys, I'm here, type of situation, right? So bro, I'm running, I jump to like make my grand entrance.
You fail.
Boom! Smack my head on the top of the roof. So not only did I bang my head and I fell, like boom, boom. So not only was I like late, but mind you, my tall 6'4" self busted, bro. Like I tell you, it was bad. Like I hit my head, the whole class started bust out laughing, bro. Like
You hit your head on the doorway?
the top of the door. So imagine like
walking into the room.
no jumping. I'm trying to jump.
Yeah, jumping into the room.
Yes, I jumped and I forgot I was
So now you're on the
tall.
floor too.
Bro, on the floor, bad.
Oh no,
It's
no,
bad.
no. Yeah.
So the
that-
teacher laughing at me. She like, yeah, it's what you get. See, try to act the fool. It's what you get. And that was the thing that made me realize, like, yeah, you gotta chill out, broski.
Yeah, that sums up your Springbrook time.
That was just like me trying to do too much. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's something like my personality. You know what I mean? It's all good because everybody in that classroom that day, they laughed. They had a great day, and I bet the folks who were in that class remember that till this day, man. So you guys are welcome for giving you guys a all-time memory that day.
You see, I feel like the moral of that story is you don't try to be the main character. You just embody it. That's what that means.
That's
you
a bar.
don't.
That's a bar.
You try too hard, and what happens? You bust your head on top of a doorway.
Yeah.
But now look, you stepping into your own now. I feel like I see the improvements.
You live and you learn. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. You live and you learn.
For sure.
So kind of pivoting a little bit from Springbrook, man, I kind of want to get into a little bit of your story, man. And I want to take a moment too to give you some flowers, man, because I feel like, being able to sit here, 10 years later, 12 years later from when we first met, shoot, man, you about to enter year 7 in your overseas career. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of folks who would have met you back then wouldn't have thought that you would have played 7 years of professional basketball. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like neither of us played for a big time, really, a shoe sponsored AU team, but like super under the radar, never played for no DC Assault, team takeover, nothing like that. Had to, went Division II, transferred, you know what I mean? Had an exceptional career. What you got? I made the Elite Eight at Lemoyne, right?
Elite Eight, yep.
Yeah, Elite Eight, Division II, man. So, and then turned that into a 6-year pro career going on 7. I think you outlasted a lot of dudes, you know what I mean? And you lapped a lot of people who folks would say were ranked higher or should have been this, should have been that, Division I schools. And I feel like I want to give you your flowers for that because, number one, it's hard to do. You know what I mean? It's hard to make it past high school, number one, come out of Montgomery County. But number two, to turn that into a 6 going on 7-year professional career is incredible, man. And when people look back at those Springbrook teams, people going to remember, like, obviously me, you, my brother obviously played Division I. Jermaine went Division I at, Winthrop.
We were a stacked team.
We had a really good team, man. And but you've outlasted a lot of folks, you know what I mean? So first of all, I want to say congratulations on that. That's a hell of an accomplishment. And I feel like I just want to talk to you about your kind of journey navigating that. You know what I mean? Because I remember going back to those days, you trying to find a scholarship. I remember you were about to go to San Diego. You were looking at Temple, maybe like trying to walk on somewhere, like, and you kind of had to go out West Bubble to Gannon, you know what I mean, to make it happen. But
West Bubble.
I kind of want to talk about just, your mindset and how you kind of reflect on that now, getting ready to get into year 7 of your professional career, played all over the world, obviously, won championships, did big things in college. How do you look back on, kind of your journey, your story, and just overcoming those odds?
Yeah, appreciate you, my boy, for starters. Yeah, I feel like I attribute a lot of it to kind of staying with everything. And I think that I've been a part of a lot of really great programs and surrounded by a lot of great people, from coaches to teammates, to everybody behind the scenes that really contribute to me becoming who I've been this far in my career. Like we were talking about Coach D and Crow at Springbrook, getting there to a high school powerhouse. Like you said, they had won a three-peat right before we got there. So they knew kind of what it took to play at the next level, so they prepared us for that. Us and, countless of our teammates that played high-level college basketball. And then, from there to Gannon University, where was honestly one of the hardest times of my life, the hardest 2 years of my life. Oh man, I could go on about that for hours, honestly. But what I did take from that was a mentality that that I could get through anything that I wanted to with my mind to it. So I feel like I've taken that, and all of my teammates who just had as much of a struggle as I did, I know they've taken that everywhere else in their career as well, whether it's in basketball, outside of basketball, whatever the case may be. And then from there to Lemoyne College, another Division II in New York, where we went to the Elite Eight. I think we lost in our conference championship my first year, won the conference championship second year, got that conference MVP, the playoffs MVP for that.
Let's talk about MVP, big MVP energy. Let's talk about it.
You feel me? So I think that kind of propelled me going into after I graduated, going into trying to play overseas. That kind of, boosted my confidence, number one, and number two, just allow people to see some of the accolades that I've done, really kind of boosted my name a little bit. So from there, I was I was blessed to go play in Israel for 5 years. 5 years so far. And, I really I almost didn't even play college basketball. I almost went to, like you said, University of San Diego for football. I had committed there, which a lot of people don't realize.
Hey, my boy was like that in football.
Really?
I got to attest. My man was a wide receiver. And he was like that. He was like that out wide, man. I can't lie.
Tell him these
I
hands
can't lie.
work. These hands work, and they
can't
work
lie.
well. But yeah, no, I remember everybody was telling me, yeah, go play football. You might be able to make it to the league. I don't know, but
You might have made it to the league.
everybody was telling me, oh,
might have
ooh,
made
you
it to the
could
league.
really make it in football. And I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, I know, but I just love basketball, and that's really I got to follow my heart on this. Like I don't know. So even with San Diego, I think I was going to commit there. No, I had committed there, and I was talking to the basketball team about trying to play there as well as football.
You was gonna be on your Deion Sanders primetime flow.
Exactly.
Not Deion Sanders. Who was it? Who did both? Oh, Deion did both.
Deion did both.
He did baseball though. He did baseball.
He did baseball, which is a whole different.
Yeah.
That's doable.
Yeah.
Him
Basketball and
and,
football is crazy.
Right, Bo Jackson. Basketball and football is nuts. So then after my first preseason in basketball and my first full season, I realized I was bugging. There was no chance I was going to be able to do football and basketball. My body would have been depleted. The way I'm rubbing my knees here now, nah, I'll be lucky if I even had knees if I did that. That would have been nuts. That would have been nuts. But then yeah. So I've since then I've been playing overseas, and I feel like I've just kind of stuck with it and took the mentalities from a lot of the people around me coming into that, and been able to kind of find my niche and stick out on teams that even have a lot of times much higher ranked players or better players than me. I'm still able to play my role and help win games and win seasons. Even I don't know if you remember, I think at Springbrook, I had the identity of like the glue man on our team. I was like kind of taking the most charges, like
Facts.
diving on the loose balls the most.
Facts.
Kind of doing all the dirty stuff that everyone else didn't want to do. You and your brother out here shooting every three that you get a chance to. Every time you see a sliver of light, we all know it's going up.
Never seen a bad shot.
Right.
Never seen a bad shot.
And the ones that didn't drop, I'm the one who was over there trying to grab them off the rim. So I kind of think that just kind of keeping that mentality and doing the things that it does take to propel like a winning organization, a winning team, embodying those things and kind of adding to that throughout my career.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a good run. I remember coming into professional basketball that I think most of the people I knew had played like 2 or 3 years, and to be getting ready to go into shifting from 6 to 7 is a blessing.
Big blessing.
A blessing nonetheless.
Thanks. Real quick, man, I got to get this because I feel like you told me this story before, and I remember you talking about like going through that preseason training and conditioning and stuff. You had a crazy. I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you told me a story when you were at Gannon about like a bunch of dudes quitting.
Oh Lord.
From the conditioning.
Not even conditioning, which is why it was so difficult to be there.
You know what I'm talking about?
Of course I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So, all right, let's get into it. So, the conditioning was honestly, it was hard for sure. As anybody who's played college sports knows, that preseason conditioning is a doozy. Like it makes you question everything. But what was difficult about playing here was that it was every day 3.5-hour practices, going from the beginning of the week up until the day before a game. We're going 3.5 hours, and like an aggressive 3.5 hours too. Like I quickly learned. Before I get into everybody quitting on the team. I quickly learned my first year there that you don't want to look at the clock ever, cause I remember one of my first practices. I'm in this practice. I'm gassed. My legs are dead, and I'm thinking like, all right, I know we're in here for 3 hours, but dang, it must have been like an hour and a half already. We're probably halfway done. I look up at this clock. We started at 3, and it's like almost 3:30. I said, no way. And every time I looked at the clock after that, for the rest of that practice, it moved about an inch.
It'd be like an hour passed by, but you look up, it's only 5 minutes went by.
Oh my God. So after that, I never looked at the clock again. But to get into that about, I think so in my sophomore year, we had, including players, redshirt players, players and redshirt players, we had like something like 17 players in the team, a lot of players. And including walk-ons as well, players, redshirt, and walk-ons. And then I think by the end of that season, when the season ended, 4 players quit during the season. We had 2 players quit like during practice, crawling off the court.
It's crazy.
No, like I don't know if you guys had drills like this where you could get stuck on the drill. You had to get a defensive stop to get off the court.
Yep.
And if not, the next 2 players come on. I'm not gonna put the names out there and throw them under the bus, but it was stuff like that. And everyone had got stuck in drills before. Like the struggle, and then eventually get to the point that you got 3 players coming on with fresh legs and you can't feel anything below your waist anymore.
Facts.
And they got stuck in those drills. They got stuck in those drills, and then it got to the point, I think it was just too much for them. They said, "No, they can't do it anymore." They can't do it. My man crawled to the side of the court, and he was sitting here like this for the rest of that 2 hours. Didn't move not one muscle. The other one, I think he didn't dive on a loose ball. He didn't dive on a loose ball. Coach made him start throwing the ball around the gym, made him chase it and dive on it. And then didn't do it again, like later in practice, another 30 minutes later. And then he started throwing the ball around the gym again, this time further, like across the whole court, across the whole gym. And then it might have been a third time, but it got to the point he's like chasing after the ball, but feet barely coming off the ground. He fell on the ball, got up, didn't turn around, got up, threw it behind him, and walked out the gym and to never return again.
Hey, bro became a concept.
Like,
He became a concept. He said never to return.
never, just an example made out of him. So, like I said, that kind of really created some. I think it created some. It hardened a lot of people. It hardened a lot of us. It put some some shell around our hearts to be able to endure a lot of stuff. I think a lot of us was waking up every morning questioning if we wanted to really play basketball like that.
That's real though.
Wake up, look at the ceiling, and think, I don't know if this is for me.
That's real though.
Just knowing what's waiting for me on these next couple of hours, daily.
Ew. That's real.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
A coach can make or break your experience for sure. A coach could definitely do that. It takes when you get around like some good people and a good program, then that's when you really realize like, all right, it doesn't have to be reduced to that experience.
Man.
I guess like that. Like that.
I'm glad you said that, bro, because I feel like what you said as far as like a coach can make or break your experience, but that's facts. And that could be a coach, an agent, a school. Like I feel like a lot of players that I've come into contact with, bro, there's been so many players who were way better than me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in high school, college, like averaged more points, all conference that like never went overseas or never had a professional basketball career or never even like it's crazy to see, you know what I mean? And you look back and I really experienced it, obviously having a grad transfer from Quinnipiac, you know what I mean? Like I had a coach hit me with he was like, yeah, you and your brother, man, I don't worry about you guys after basketball. You guys are going to be great, off the court.
Yeah.
And on the surface, you would be like, oh, that's a compliment. You know what I mean? But I'm in the middle of my season. Like, I'm trying to become a professional basketball player. He basically was on some, like, passive-aggressive, like, yeah, like, basketball might not be your thing, but I know outside of basketball, like, you're going to be all right. And I never forget how that stuck with me, bro. Like that comment stuck with me because I could feel the passive aggressiveness when he said it. And that was during my redshirt year, bro. I'm kind of probably at my lowest, bro. You know what I mean? I had the herniated disc in my back. And it was freshmen that were like playing over me in the rotation. I'm like, bro, I'm a senior. Like, how is it that I got freshmen playing over me? You know what I mean? And then you pull me in the office and say, yeah, like, you got to earn your way back in the rotation. But, I don't worry about you guys outside of basketball. You and your brother are going to be good. And I'm like,
that's
what?
That's kind of nuts. Yeah, that's kind of
crazy. And it was just like, it broke my confidence. You know what I mean?
Questioning your own ability.
Yes, you really start questioning it. And it's like, I had to go to Coppin the next year and play for Juan Dixon, you know what I mean? And have him, like, really instill that confidence back into me and tell me, like, yo, I think you can go to the league, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was the first person that told me that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I gotta give him, and obviously it was a whole, everybody can say what they want about, Coppin, Juan Dixon, whatever that whole situation, but like him and Coach Auslander, Coach Charles, gotta shout out to you guys if y'all watching this, man, because they really changed, I feel like, the course of my basketball career because they believed in me. You know what I mean? Like them putting the ball in my hands that last year at Coppin and allowing me to just go hoop and give me the confidence to play is really what has allowed me to have a 4-year pro career after. Because if you would have went off my Quinnipiac situation, it would have been like, yo, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I might never went overseas, had a career. And I think you saying that just as far as how much a coach can make or break your career, man, it really resonates, man. I've had dudes who, same thing, had bad agents. I had to fire my agent after my rookie year, didn't get me a job. And I always think about these things, man. It's like, it's just crazy, man, how much those things can affect your life in the grand scheme of things, man. So I just thank God above that, I've been blessed with just favor to have, people around me that have always been able to guide me, give me advice, wisdom. God, shout out my guy, Rick Goings, who has helped me along the way with a lot of different decisions.
Shout out Rick.
Shout out Rick, man.
Rick is so implemental for so many young hoopers coming out the DMV, man.
So many, man. He really helped me navigate that situation and helped get me to Coppin and change the course of my whole professional basketball career, man. So I feel like that's something that was super kind of important that you said that I wanted to highlight for sure.
That's what I was about to ask you too. It really does just take somebody believing in you to help you get to your next step. Is there? I mean, would you say it was like Juan Dixon who you think believed in you the most from at any age?
Yeah.
To get you to where you are now. You just came off this season in Australia.
Yeah.
Like to get you to here and be able to continue playing, was that kind of the most you think?
I mean, the first person I gotta say, I wouldn't even be able to be sitting here today if it wasn't for Coach Tony. Coach Tony Langley, man. If you from the DMV area, Tacoma Park, DC, you know Coach Tony. Y'all know Coach Tony, man, and he changed the course of my life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like on the real, because I grew up, single mom, so I didn't really have my pops in my life growing up, and Coach Tony always makes this joke because we played football too back in the day. And I played football before I played basketball. I can show y'all receipts.
Let me find out.
He was like, yo, I swear I was talking to him the other day. He was like, yo, man, we just reminiscing. He's like, yo, man, it's crazy, man, because you want to play football. Like, you and your brother, y'all like, you want to play football more than basketball. And our first football practice, we came out there with cleats and no socks. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause we didn't have it. We didn't know no better. You know what I mean? Like, but we just wanted to play. You know what I mean? And he brought us to the basketball court and brought us over to the DC Warriors, man. And only reason he would let me and my brother play was because of our older brother, Billy. He knew who our older brother was. I got to give a shout out to my brother, Billy, because he's the reason I play basketball, reason I wear number 14. He won a national championship with Carmelo Anthony back in 2003. Played at DeMatha, Oak Hill. He's an All-American. And so my brother was like a big deal around the DMV. So when he heard that me and Ace were like Billy's little brothers, he was like, bet. But mind you, we got 2 left feet now. So you could probably imagine when we was back at, this is 11 years old.
It is true.
Worse. We couldn't even make a left-hand layup. Like, it was so bad. The whole team used to have to make 2 free throws in a row to end practice. Me and my brother were so bad, instead of us making 2 free throws to end practice, we had to make a left-hand layup and then get the ball to the next person.
This is hold on, let's just get it straight. This is at 11 years old.
11 years old. So this is how bad we were.
All right, hold on, real quick. Let me pause that real quick, because there's a lot of kids out there that don't realize, they think, it's over for them. They're 11, 12, even going into high school.
Facts.
And now you coming into whatever year of your career it is.
4, yep.
Number 4, coming out of Australia. So
came
a long way from having to make a left-hand layup. Go ahead, though. I seen a left now.
Facts. Hey, it's there. It's there. But
shout out Coach Tony for that.
Yeah, man. But he was more of like a father figure for us, to be honest. Like, he would buy us like Christmas gifts. You know what I mean? On Christmas, he bought us our first pair of winter boots because we didn't have no boots to wear in the Maryland winters when it was snow. He taught us how to work hard. Like, he taught us. I never forget, man. I was 12 and under. We played against a team in Chicago called Ferrari. And if you class of 2014, you was on the AU circuit, you know about Ferrari, because Ferrari turned into like all their players played for Whitney Young. So Jaleel Okafor, Paul White, Miles Reynolds that went to St. Louis. All these guys played for Ferrari AAU team. And my homie got dunked on by Jaleel Okafor. Jaleel Okafor was like 6'4" at 12 years old at Nationals. He dunked on my teammate in Florida at the Super Showcase in Orlando. And I remember like thinking to myself like, yo, we lost the game, and after my teammate got dunked on, we lost, whatever, and my coach was like, yo, that's the #1 player in the country, like Jalil for, like, so that's who you got to compete against for a scholarship. And here I am, like, might have played like 5 minutes in the game. I'm like, oh my God, like that's who I got to go against for a scholarship, and that's when my life changed because that next summer was like, oh, we in the gym, like this is, I think that was 14 under nationals. 14 under nationals, we played them because 12 and under was Hampton, 13s was Memphis, 14s was Florida. And so that summer, or that, I guess this was summertime, so that August, September, going into next year was when I started working out every day. When I started going up, I was catching 2 buses to go to the gym and work out with Coach Tony after school. He taught me how to work hard, you know what I mean? Like, and he changed my life because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have seen that. I couldn't, you being in the DMV, you can't see Jalil Okafor. You can't see Justice Winslow and Kelly Oubre playing for Houston Hoops on the same team. These are 2 like lottery picks that went to Kansas and Duke. We played against them when I was 14 years old. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing them. I'm like, oh, I can't go off the bench. These who I got to play against? You know what I mean? Kelly Oubre dunking. It was crazy. You know what I mean? So he changed my life because he taught me how to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I would say when I got older, getting to Coppin, Juan was the one who gave me that confidence and like kind of brought my swagger back to my game to where it was like, nah, you can be a pro.
Dang, so even coming in from then, see, that was 14 U, right?
Yeah.
And then I think I met you probably like the next year.
Yep.
We were 15. And then going even before Coppin, before college even, finishing through high school, you going in playing 5 minutes on the AAU circuit to start high school, to graduating with how many offers? How many offers did you have?
After I left Springbrook, I had like 9.
9, then plus
9 offers, and I ended up with like 14 when I went to Putnam.
From prep school. Yeah. So, no, that's a testament. That's a testament if I ever heard one, for sure.
I appreciate it, bro. Like I said, I wouldn't be here without, you know, Coach Tony and him showing me how to work, showing me that experience, and then just applying that, like, you know what I mean, and really like understanding that, yo, bro, like, if you don't get a scholarship to go to college, you're not going to college. He made that very plain when I was like 13, 14 years old. Like, yo, bro, you and your brother, like, your situation, obviously growing up with a single mom, you know, no daddy in your life, your mom can't pay for school. So if you don't get a scholarship, you're not going to college. And having that in perspective as a 13, 14-year-old just changed how I work. And I think it instilled that even today, how I go about just working out, staying in the gym, is like, yo, you got to put everything you have into whatever you're doing, whether it's basketball, media. You got to work like it's your only way out. You know what I mean? And I think that instilling that fear is really what kind of changed, man. And then, like I said, going to Coppin and playing for Juan, you know, him being in the NBA and playing in the NBA, playing with Michael Jordan on the Wizards, he's telling you, yo, you can go to the league, like you can play in the NBA, was like everything I needed to hear to kind of get my career and my confidence back on track.
Yeah. I remember because I even learned a lot about hard work from you and your brother too. Like I was never at any point afraid of hard work.
Yeah.
But just kind of like seeing even what it like really looked like. Because we would get up. I remember I followed y'all footsteps, and we would get up at 6 in the morning and work out before school sometimes. Thanks. And I remember it was sometimes like you or your brother, both of y'all would be, you know, doing some ball handling drills over in the enclave on the tennis courts right before the bus would even come. Bus coming at 6:25 in the morning. And, you know, they'll all be over there and then go back home and then come back to the bus. We would come out. You know, this is all before I feel like a lot of people were doing this. We would go out, go to the rec center and shoot before games, get some shots up.
Facts.
You know, all these things that get us to where we are today. I feel like I definitely took a lot from you, and to see that that's where it came from, even from the beginning. I think like that says a lot. That says a lot.
No, I appreciate it, bro. And shoot, like I said, it's definitely stuck. You know, it's definitely stuck with me. You know what I mean? Till this day, man. But since we kind of caught up to like, you know, Springbrook and how that's kind of AAU, Coach Tony going through the college, getting to where we are today, man. I want to kind of ask you because I feel like this is an important timing in both of our lives because, like you mentioned, you're getting ready for you know year 7 to go overseas. I'm kind of in that in between phase, trying to figure out if I want to keep hooping, if I want to get into the media stuff full time. And I feel like a lot of us around this age group, just being like close to 30, whatever, mid-20s, mid-30s, whatever case may be, everybody's trying to figure out life, you know what I mean, and what they want to do, which route you kind of want to take it. And it's hard, man. It's hard, bro. It's not a midlife crisis because we still young, but it's like the pre-midlife crisis for real. Trying to like establish yourself on your own, like get your own crib, figure out where you want to live, figure out what direction you want your career to go.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's trying to figure something out, right?
Everybody. I just want to talk to you about that because I feel like obviously, living with you every day, I can kind of see it. The things that are spinning in your mind as far as deals are coming in from overseas. Do I want to take it? Do I not? Damn, I got to start thinking in my mind about what's after basketball. Like, where are you at with that? You know what I mean? And how have you been trying to navigate that as far as, figuring out what's next, preparing for, your overseas career, but also, like, trying to figure out life, literally.
Yeah. No, that's a great point and great question. I do look around. I feel like it is a lot of our peers, like in this kind of age range, late 20s in the same boat, trying to figure everything out. Figure family stuff out, figure out dating stuff, figure out career stuff, all these things. And for me, I think it kind of really brought it to my forefront. Like I said, I've been blessed to have a successful playing career overseas thus far, and I'm still playing. But I think so. Last year I was home for a lot of the year. Yeah. Helping, taking care of my mother, and she's doing better now, which is great and a blessing. But I think that just kind of got my being home for most of the season for the first time since I started playing really got me thinking about careers and what would happen after basketball. Yeah. When I really didn't even have to think about that before at any point because the season's so long and so you're on go for so long that you get a 2-month break and you just try to embrace those 2 to 3 months.
Facts.
Facts. So then when I was home for most of the season, it kind of really got those wheels moving and thinking about that. And I've seen a lot of players that have had, much more successful and even less successful careers than me play and then get into that space of, all right, they're finishing playing and get stuck a little bit, or go down the wrong path or go back, doing stuff that, they know that they shouldn't be doing. Yeah. So I know that, that's not a route I want to take by any means. And just kind of, I feel like, having the forethought to be able to think about it before I'm kind of at that point so that when it gets to the point where, it's time for me to, hang up the shoes and retire because, these shoes, these knees won't last forever. But pause. That's nuts. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, did he?
All right. Anyways, let me be specific. Yeah, this meniscus won't last forever. Let's be specific about it. When that transition does come, I do want to be able to kind of make that seamlessly, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see it. I see it in kind of everybody around too. And some people think they have it figured out, and then we're all at a age where it's like we're getting older and still young enough that if you want to make a shift, you kind of still can.
Right.
And people are kind of fighting with themselves a lot. I feel like I see.
Yeah.
And trying to get ready to switch lanes entirely, or in a minor way, or I don't know. I feel like you got to make smart decisions, but at the same time, I feel like you have to follow your heart in things like this, because
100%.
Or else you're leading to a long road of regret and trouble.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my question to you though, because you've had this podcast going for a little bit. How did we even get here? Before we even get into down the line in the future, How did we get here though? Because I remember in high school that you did you were big on broadcasting. I feel like you were part of the newspaper. Is that right?
Yep. Good memory. Good memory.
Right, newspaper and yearbook and all of that.
Yep.
So I know that you kind of wanted to be in in the Stephen A. Smith lane for a little bit.
Facts.
And that still may be the case.
Yeah.
But you know, kind of what brought us to this point here, you know, before getting into all that in the future too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I always knew that I wanted to be in the media because, as you know, I'm a certified yapper. Yapper. So I knew that if I wasn't going to be playing basketball, I wanted to be talking about basketball. And so I felt like the media was the easiest way for me to be around the game and be me and yap, but get paid to yap. You know what I mean? So I feel like my sophomore year, I took a newspaper as a class, as an elective in Springbrook. Junior year, I was the opinion editor of the school newspaper. And then my senior year, I got promoted to the sports editor, which was like a big deal for me because I'm like, dang, like here I'm an athlete, but I'm the editor of the sports section of the newspaper. You know what I mean? So I feel like I kind of always knew that I wanted to go the media route.
Yeah.
And then, so majored in it in college. I was blessed to go to
Get paid
Quinnipiac.
to why not?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Blessed enough to go to Quinnipiac, who had a top 10 journalism program at the time. So kind of aligned to where, like, I was able to go to a school that fit with the things that I was trying to do. And I think at the end of the day, though, it kind of has evolved because at first I was like, I really want to be on TV. You know what I mean? I want to be like Stephen A. Smith. And I still do. Me and Ace had this dream, like, yeah, we're going to be on First Take. It's going to be like the Robinson twins version of First Take. I'm going to be sitting right here, you sitting across from me, and we're going to debate each other, First Take style, me and you. And that was the dream, bro, for the longest. You know what I mean? And but when you go to school, and we talked about this a bunch on the podcast, if y'all haven't, go back and watch some of the episodes, but anybody who's gone through any kind of journalism program, they tell you, you know, you graduate from Quinnipiac, and then you'll move to Topeka, Kansas, and you'll be you work there for 2-3 years in a small media market. You'll work sports or news, and then you go from Topeka, Kansas. Then you'll go to, you know, Jacksonville, Florida, a little bit of a bigger market. You know, you got the NFL there. You'll do 4 years there, work your way up, and then from there, you'll maybe get blessed to get an opportunity to go to D.C. and be a newscaster in D.C. And then by the time you're 40, you get your big break, and you'll be in New York or L.A. and you'll be big time and you'll be on ESPN by then. And I'm like, dang, so
That's the layout.
I gotta wait 20 years before I can get on Stephen A. level?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I feel like I've been blessed to have a lot of these conversations on this podcast to learn that social media has presented so many opportunities for people who want to be in the media but pursue a different lane. And so for me, I understood that this platform, as far as this podcast, was a way that I could keep my name relevant as I'm playing overseas. So, you know, I'm in Australia, I'm in Japan, I'm in Portugal, and I'm like, dang, I know I want to be in the media one day, but I'm thousands of miles away. So as you know, when you're overseas, it's out of sight, out of mind. So this whole podcast and brand was like a way for me to harness my skills, keep my name fresh, and then at the end of the day, network. Because if I'm in Japan, but I can have an hour and a half conversation with somebody in New York or in LA who's working the job that I want to work when I'm done playing, then it's going to help me navigate that space and get into that door a lot smoother. So I think I was just blessed to be able to kind of have that in the back of my mind. Like, you know what? You're playing, but how are you going to set yourself up for when this ball stops bouncing? You know what I mean? And I think that I've been blessed enough to just have people that, again, have given me great advice. I've been able to have great conversations on this platform like we're having right now that have been able to, you know, just keep the name relevant, man. I got to give a shout out to our friends that are over here, man. They're not on camera, but we're going to give a shout out to the M&Ms because they're obviously here with they're showing us a lot of love and just being able to come across like-minded individuals, you know, like Jody, like Ashton, who have done this for a lot longer than me. Has been super insightful, you know, because I've been able to learn a lot from them. Somebody like Ashton, who's done amazing things with Switch Cultures, built that brand up to something that's incredible, has inspired me as an athlete as well to kind of try to build up all facts while I'm playing. So that's kind of a long-winded answer, but I feel like that's kind of how we got here today is just from trying to prepare myself. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been able to, I always thought about it where it's like, I'm playing basketball because I love basketball. I love basketball, but I don't have to play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to say it again. Like, I love basketball, but I don't have to play basketball. Yeah. A lot of people play basketball and they continue to play basketball because they don't have another outlet. They don't have anything else that they can turn to. So they just keep going overseas or keep playing because they don't have anything else to turn to, and it creates like a trauma response. It's like, dang, I already know what I'm gonna do, so I gotta keep playing. But for me, I've been able to find something else that I love equally as much as basketball. And this content creation space, this media space, having these conversations, being able to meet people like Jody and Ashley along the way, is something that I really love, and I found something that has allowed me to kind of ease that transition. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the biggest beauty in this whole platform of All Facts is I've been able to find something that has allowed me to have that same joy when you make a 3-pointer or when you get to the bucket and dunk one. You know what I mean? Like I get them same emotions when I make an edit and it's like, oh, this is the one. Like, oh, this about to snap. Like I get that same high when I click post. And it's like, oh, they about to love this joint. You know what I mean? We get in the crib the other day. You remember the other day? I'm editing birthday reel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I got 15 seconds through it. I'm just over there giggling. I'm like, oh, this about to be the one. This about to be the one. And
you showed it to me. I know it's gonna be a long reel too. That's the thing. I know it's gonna end up being a long reel. You showed it to me. All 12 seconds of it. I said, is that it? What? And you were over there gassed up. You said, oh yeah, we got one. We got one.
But y'all know that when you edit it, you know you got one. You like, ooh, hey, I'm cooking right now. You know what I mean? And I feel like for me, being able to have that experience outside of basketball has been the biggest blessing from All Facts because it just, in my mind, it let me know that, like, it's going to be all right. You know what I mean? Like, after basketball, you're going to be able to go into the next phase of your life and not have to stress about what's next. And that's been the beauty of it.
Awesome. I do feel like that was you said the people are going to love this and all of that. I feel like that was a long-winded way of saying you really a certified yapper and and you get the same high off hooping as yapping. So honestly, I love that for you though, because I've known this for a long time, and I'm happy to see that you embrace it. Because I feel like as long as anybody's known you, know that you and your brother have been professionals at this for a long time. I feel like it's coming together. It's coming together. We can put it that way.
I appreciate it, man. So I want to ask you, bro, like, obviously we've kind of walked through a bunch of different aspects of life, from basketball to the off-the-court stuff, and I'll keep mentioning it, man, but it's really crazy to see, like, we're 28. We got friends about to get married, from already married, having babies.
Friends having babies?
Crazy,
Ooh,
you know
Lord.
what I mean? And we've been through a lot in the 12 years that we've known each other, man. Like, what do you foresee in the next 10 to 12 years of just this brotherhood? What's next for you? What are some goals that you kind of have for yourself, man? And, where do you see yourself, man? Let's put this, 20, 30, 34? Where do you think we'll be at,
10
man?
years from now?
The next 10 years,
10
man.
years from now? All right. I think it's safe to say that we probably both retired from basketball officially by 2034. That's putting, what's that, about 38 years old, give or take, right?
Way retired.
Yeah. I know some people that play longer. But
Me, at least. I'm done. Over it.
Oh, God. All right. Yeah, I think that's putting us retired. I'm seeing glimpses. All right, I'm seeing glimpses of ownership and glimpses of beachfront properties, and I'm seeing some. We gotta have like some type of yearly reunion thing, because I feel like so much of our friends are so spread out too.
Thanks.
That I feel like to keep that as a collective going, we got to have something really set up. We got our Husker reunion coming up, our 10-year Husker reunion coming up.
Man.
In a couple of weeks.
Man.
That's crazy to think about, but I think that relationships are a key part of keeping everything together. So we've been able to keep in touch probably more than most.
Yeah.
Of my friends, at least at this point.
Yep.
So kind of keeping that in the forefront, I think is huge. It's funny. I feel like I've seen, playing overseas too. I've seen a lot of different values from different cultures. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you played in Portugal and Australia and Central America. That I think like a lot of other cultures, prioritize having having set times. Like you you get together with your family and friends at this time,
Facts.
and that really keeps the wheels rolling.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like that's always got to be a huge priority. What about you? Where do you see us in 10 years from now?
Man, I better be married. Let's start there. I better be married with at
Okay.
least 2 kids.
Okay.
At least 2 kids by then, 10 years
What's
from now.
ideal? How many kids?
Ideal? I want 3 kids at least. I want to have
At least?
2 boys and 1 girl. You know what I mean? Married by then. So,
Wait, is the daughter the youngest? It's a good question.
yes, the boys got to come first.
Yeah.
Because my son, I'm gonna make sure he knows at a young age he beating up all my daughter all my daughter boyfriends. He's standing
All of
outside. Yeah, all of them. She can't. My daughter can't date. To my future daughter, you
Yeah.
can't date until you're at least 37 years old. Matter of fact,
You don't want her to have a
matter of fact,
family?
we got a clock. We got a biological clock. So we'll go 27. 27.
She gonna start dating at 27?
Facts.
All right.
I don't want to hear nothing else about that. But yeah, I want to be married, kids. I want all facts to be like the biggest. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say all facts and Swish Cultures. Shout out Swish. We're gonna be the 2 biggest Black-owned media platforms in the world
In the
in
world.
the next 10 years.
In
So
the world.
we stamping that right now. But yeah, man, that's really what I want, man. I just want to have a family. I want to be a father. I want to be raising my kids, and I want to be on a boat somewhere with my friends, talking about, man, look how far we came.
Yeah, the good old days.
Facts. That's what I want to be doing in 10 years, man.
I'm with that. I feel like we should. Hey, the day right now. What is this? This is November 13th,
Facts.
2034.
Facts.
Wait a minute. All right, so that means we got to go somewhere else to get in this boat. We're not gonna get in this boat out here in November.
Never. We're gonna be in like the Maldives or something.
Something like that.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
somewhere
We'll go
real
somewhere nice.
real bougie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
A good Thanksgiving break.
Facts.
To the cruise in the Maldives
With our kids.
with the whole families.
Facts.
With the whole families.
Facts.
I don't know what these families gonna look like. Ooh, we.
Hey. So
Hey.
we gotta get into this, man. Before we wrap up, man, I want to have some fun. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't be right, if we don't have some good brotherly banter here. So, we always end every What's in Your Bag episode with some fun little segment. So this is what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna each get 3. All right, we're gonna name our 3 biggest pet peeves, things that you hate that the other one does. All right, 3
Go
each.
ahead, I'll let you
So
finish.
it's gonna
Go
be
ahead.
1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's how we're gonna do this. All right.
That's what you want to do?
I'm gonna let you start off first.
That's what
This
you
is
wanna
your first
do?
episode, so I'll let you take your shot at me first. Let me pour my sip of wine so I can sip my drink while you saying whatever blasphemy you about to
All right,
speak.
so hold on. Let me get this straight really quick though. Let me get this straight because we could do that. We could do that, and I'm gonna leave this up to you.
All right.
But I got a counter offer though.
What's the counter offer? Let's
All
hear
right,
it.
we could go pet peeve,
Yeah.
and we could also go like what you want to call it, like good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
Some Ashley's over here. She's shaking her head saying, "Nah, she wants violence."
Straight evil.
I'm saying we get some duality to it.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's do pet peeves today only.
All right.
Our next episode we'll do flowers.
All right. That's how you want to play this. All right. Ash is loving this.
You get to go first. You get to go first.
All right. I'm gonna start this off.
By the way, caveat, we brothers, so ain't nobody gonna take this personal. If y'all watching, it's like, oh my God, they're so mean. No.
Yeah.
All right? You ain't really family if you can't get on each other's ass. All right? If y'all always nice to each other, y'all not really fam. All right?
Mhm.
So go ahead.
Andrew Robinson. I'll start this off. You said it yourself, certified yapper, right? And let me tell you, when this man gets on the phone with anybody, it doesn't matter. He starts shaking rooms and houses. He talks so loud for no reason at all. We can hear you. They can hear you. The neighbors can hear you. It's good.
Neighbors know my name. We be screaming, scratching, yelling.
That's not what that song's about. That's something different.
You're right. Hey, my fault.
Nah, you be screaming on the phone though. I'll say that much. I'll start there.
All right, that's fair enough. You know what? I can take that.
Yeah.
I can take that. I feel like everybody in this room know what I'm about to say about you for this first one.
It's an easy target.
Yes, it's the facts. We're gonna get this. 2025, we're getting this right. Why are you always late, bro? Everywhere you go, you are tardy. I feel like you know you're supposed to be somewhere at some time. You're supposed to be somewhere at 4 o'clock, and it'll be 3:15, and you'll just be on the toilet for 30 minutes, knowing you gotta leave. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's going on, bro?
I want to start by saying that if I need to be somewhere, I'm gonna be there. I don't miss flights. I'm not late for stuff I need to be at. Secondly, I read somewhere recently that I'm late because y'all keep calling me late. So I'm flipping it back on y'all. Wow. And I'm manifesting that I'm on time from now on. So if y'all start speaking negatively on me and my life and my future, then hey, that's on you. And I don't appreciate it.
We're gonna get you right. 2025, we're gonna get you right. What's your next one? What's your next one?
Ooh, my next one. Okay, you don't be cleaning after you oh shoot. You don't be cleaning up after yourself.
That's cap.
That's
Big
not
cap.
true. I will say this. I will caveat it with the fact that you cleaned up. We in the same spot. We live in the same spot together right now. Thanks. Too, right? So for everybody that doesn't know that,
thanks.
You cleaned up, great the other day.
The whole house.
The whole house, spotless. I'll say that, but that was irregular and out of the ordinary.
It wasn't irregular, bro. I'm out here working 2 jobs, man. I'm working
doing
like
your
a
thing.
dog,
You're doing
man.
your thing.
I'm not sleeping.
I'm talking about regular stuff. I'm not
Sometimes
talking
I
about.
be
I'm not
having
talking
to get
about
out the
cleaning
door,
though.
bro.
I'm not talking about cleaning.
That's crazy. That's crazy
I'm
right
talking
now,
about
man.
regular, throw it in the trash type of thing. I'm talking about regular stuff. I'm talking about regular.
You know what? I'll be better, bro. I'll be better. All right, that's fair enough. I'll be better.
Cool by me. We love it. We love some accountability.
Yeah, I'll be better. My second thing, and this is really a personal issue that I had with you recently.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Let's talk about it.
Oh.
We talked about a lot of time. We've been playing a lot of pickup recently. You know what I mean? Me and you. And I really be feeling like we've been playing recently, bro. And you've been looking me off to some bums. Like, it's not like you look me off and you shoot it, but I'll be coming down the court, hey, ball, wide open. And you'll pass some dude with 2 left feet. And I'll be like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, pass me the rock. Then I have to go get the ball and do something crazy and game it. And it'd be like, we're on the same team. And I'd be really wanting the perp on the other team. Like, yeah, I'm him. But I really be trying to, like, look at you. Hey, pass me the ball, bro. Don't ever pass this dude ever again in your life if I'm wide open, bro. Like,
I'll say that happened like twice recently.
I'm like, what's going on, bro? Swing the rock.
And then, but afterwards, like right after, we coming back on defense, and I say like, my fault.
Yeah, I'm like, cuz, what's going on?
And no, two left feet is an understatement though, because
and I'll really be sitting like, yo, you pass to him, I'm wide open, they air ball. And I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? We supposed to be looking out for each other.
No, you're absolutely right. And I'll say I could do better too. I'll do better too. I'll be out here trying to make the right plays. We're out here playing pickup with some randos sometimes out here in Los Angeles. But I just got it in my brain, like LeBron, make the right pass.
Right pass to give me the ball.
That's
the right pass.
Yeah, I would hear you. Hey, I hear you like after the fact. I'll make that pass and then I hear you like echoes. Boo, 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 boo. I got you. You're right. Right. It was a couple of them like that.
Your third one. Give me your last one.
Dang. I feel like I want to have a really good one for this third one. Let me think about this. It's tricky. I'll be honest, I don't have something in the front of my mind.
Well, that's good.
I might phone a friend. Y'all have anything y'all need to complain about? Some pet peeves? Ooh, we heard a whisper.
Big cat.
We heard a whisper. It's true. Drew, you're a gaslighter, bro. And I seen it time and time again.
If you can't have an example, then this is just cap.
No, it's just true. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
What's the example?
You gaslighting me right now. Nah. And I'm not having it. In real time. You're not denying, hey, nah, I don't want to hear none of that. Hey, you try to spin it in your favor, no matter what it is.
Y'all see he's not presenting no examples, right? I just want y'all to note this, all right?
No, you see, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I don't come example ready all the time, but it's true and you know it.
Oh, well, you should.
The example is right now. Matter of fact, you just exemplified a perfect scenario.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's my
We'll
turn.
come to you with the receipts, in the notes or something like that afterwards. We'll make sure we get them there.
So my last one is a pet peeve and something I hate, but it's not even your fault. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a positive for you, to be honest with you, but we joked about this a bunch in the M&M's chat. I hate when we have gone out together, you know what I mean? And fellas, I know we all can relate to this. If you say you can't relate, you're lying. But I feel like I'm a very, attractive individual, you know? When I go out with this guy, though, I feel like I become the ugly friend, though. And I hate that for me.
No,
because we'll go out.
You're a good-looking guy, bro.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But when we go out, instead of Shorty coming to me, I'm like, oh, yeah, she about to come ask for the number of my gram. She like, hey, what's up with your friend, though? Hey, what's up with your friend? Like, if we get his IG. I'm like, whoa, you asking for the wrong IG.
Damn.
And I'm like, damn, this has become my life, though. And I've accepted it as a reality. It's been this way for a long time. And, I've come to accept it that when I'm out with you, I'm like the wingman. I'm the vessel to get to you for real.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all.
It's facts. You would know.
I had girls come up to me asking about you too.
Hey, listen.
I could. I got some examples on the top of my mind.
Hey,
we won't even go there, but I know something.
Hey, just know this has become my reality, guys. And I feel like all of us dark-skinned kings can relate. When you have light-skinned friends, it's tough.
What is this? 2010? What's going on?
Light-skinned friends, it's tough.
I heard dark skins in right now. What's going on?
It's tough. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I've come to accept it. And it's all right. I'm not mad at you for it because you can't help it. You know what I mean?
That's cool. I appreciate you not hating on me. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's all I can say.
Hey, I'm charging it. Charging it to the game, man. Swipe my card, man. This is fun, man. I always want to end every episode, man, giving flowers, man. Like I said before, I really want to give you your flowers for, number one, being a brother to me, you know what I mean, for the 12 years that I've known you. I always tell everybody, if I didn't have an identical twin, brother Ace, you would probably be the best man in my wedding, legit.
Yeah,
like if
I
I
will be. Let's say that.
Yeah. You know,
Ace, he got to fight me for it.
Nah, facts. You know what I mean? Yeah, facts. If hey, I'll leave that to you guys. You know what I mean? But
just so we clear.
It's been amazing to see your career, bro, blossom from Springbrook to becoming a professional basketball player today. What you've been able to create for yourself has been amazing. I'm extremely proud of what you've been able to accomplish. In year 7, you need at least 3 more. If you can get to year 10, you got to be a 10-year vet. I think that's easy for you, though. I see that for sure. You know what I mean?
I see it.
Again, like,
why not?
Besides the basketball, though, again, like you've been a brother to me, and I really can't get off this episode by giving some flowers to your mom too. Shout out to Miss Tony for we could do a whole episode on Miss Tony.
Mom of the year.
You know what I mean? But
Team Mom.
Love you, Ma. Thank you for bringing this light-skinned fellow to Springbrook and allowing us to become family and welcome me into your family. Love you, brother. Thank you for being the first in-studio guest for the What's in Your Bag podcast, man, and I appreciate you.
It's an honor. Love, dog. It's an honor to be here. Appreciate you having me. And, let's keep this thing rolling.
Oh, God, man. Hey, let's get a quick cheers in, man, for the future. You know what I mean? For next 10 years of brotherhood and wins, more life, more success, brother. Love you.
All the above. Love you, gang.
No doubt. All right, guys, this has been another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tune into the What's in Your Bag podcast. And now, if you're here in L.A., you know anybody here in L.A. that you think will be perfect to come sit in this seat next to me and Dog, come invite them. We're going to be having plenty of conversations right here in L.A., so we'll see you guys soon.
We're going to get these guests rolling.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.
Suave. been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mental. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different route, change relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hard.